All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got 10 people already joined in. I really, really appreciate it. Hello, Miss Stephanie. Hello. Make sure that you guys come in and hit the like button, as well as make sure you say hello so that way I can acknowledge you. And thank you so much for tuning in. 8 people already in, and I want to make this a show that is about you guys, and you're going to talk to me. I mean, I do have a couple of videos and things like that I want to put on here, but I want to make sure that you guys are a part of the show. Hello, Miss Elise. I hope I'm saying your name right, Miss Elise. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Really, really appreciate it. Please make sure again that you hit that like button. That way we can get the algorithms and all that to do what they do. So. Um, I really, really appreciate it. Again, I want to make sure I'm talking to you all, and that you all are talking back. So keep the conversation, going. Yes, I thank you so much. Yes. So I am glad I'm saying your name right. All right. All right. So I got a couple of videos. And all that. So again, this is going to be interactive. So you can either type in, or you can I may drop the link so you guys can come up. You can keep your face covered and all that, if you don't want to be seen. But if you want to come up, let me know, and I'll let you come up. We'll chat a little bit, all that. So let's see here. Miss Lyric, thank you so much for coming in. I really, really appreciate the ladies. The show, the program has been going, and I'm actually going to do it. Going to talk about the ladies a lot in your participation. I think I'm really, really appreciative of that. So it's odd how that goes, because I follow a couple of other male platforms, and they talk about how the men are always running over to the women to see what they have to say. So I just think we want to hear what each side has to say. All right, so we're gonna start off with one video. So you feel free to jump in, or to I'm gonna play a little bit, and I want to get your all opinion about what's going on. Let me remove this from the scene here. Remove from studio. All right. All right. So we're gonna add this to the stage here. All right, so this is the video. I had this video. I was gonna do a video about this before, but this young lady right here, you can see she's kind of great out here. So I want to start it here. I got this from somebody else's channel, and I can't find the original video. I did have it recorded on my phone and all that, but I don't have it anymore. But again, this is what some of the problems are. And of course, this is a younger lady. She's probably 30 or so. I'm estimating. Again, once you hit a certain age, right? I can't tell people's ages anymore. So I'm assuming she's roughly 30ish. So let me know your thoughts or opinions about what this young lady has to say. And again, shout out to Average Man Unplugged. And you can see the name of the video that he's got is "Y'all Running Men into a Hole: Why Men Are Walking Away from Dating and Marriage." Why men are walking away from dating and marriage. So while we're watching the video, just type in why you all think that men are not dating anymore, or is that your experience and they're not worth it? But again, I want to know what you all think that the issue is with men walking away. That's what the name of the show is. Why do you think that men are walking away? So we can start it off right there. Just start typing it in, and I'll read it off as we go. Hello, Miss Erica Hansen. Thank you so much for coming here, and thank you for your time. Thank you so much for your time. So here we go. We're gonna play this video. Just give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear it. Just give me a 1.
I'm going to be a totally 110%. I think I didn't find my husband yet because all the women expectations is really having the men go into a hole. Because who the hell is y'all to say y'all want a man that make $500,000 a year? They hide because of y'all unrealistic ass expectations. Send me somebody that got enough to make sure that I got lights on, water running, I'm smiling, and we eating. Y'all asking for the most. Y'all want a man to buy y'all a boat. I can't even say it right. Y'all want a man to buy y'all a boat, a yacht, and a crib, and pay for your kids' schooling, your desires, your kids' desires. Like that shit. You hear how unrealistic that shit sounds? This how a lot of y'all women sound. Ridiculous. That's why we ain't got nobody yet, because y'all scaring them into a damn hole. Please separate me from everybody else. Husband, Come find me. You ain't gotta make $500K for me. You could make $500. If you can make that shit work all year and I'm eating, I'm good.
Now, obviously, I believe she was exaggerating.
All right, so rewind a little bit here. So I want to know your thoughts. Is it true that the ladies are running men into a hole? Is it true that they're scaring men off because men are running into these different types of situations? Is it true that that the men are like, you know what, forget this. And listen, you guys watched my content before, I'm quite sure, and you know my thoughts and my feelings about what's going on here in the dating market, the crazy high expectations. And this is not just things we've seen on the internet, right? I've run into these things in my own personal life. The crazy high expectations. People don't want to go to chain restaurants and all that. So do you know any ladies like this? Is she exaggerating? Am I exaggerating? What are your thoughts and what are your opinions, right? So make sure you write those in the chat. Let's see. I think that was the only one I got to say. I think that was the only one that I was going to play from this particular one. Why are we shaming men for protecting women? This young lady has some good content sometimes, so we'll fast forward to her. I gotta play this commercial here. Sorry about that.
You can sell this $5 spatula on Amazon and compete with hundreds of other spatula sellers.
Woken up to a text message that says, "Good morning, my love. I hope you have an amazing day." The only day I don't get this is on Sunday because he's off. Also, every morning he kisses me on my forehead. It's not anything crazy, but it's like enough to not wake me up too much, but just a little bit to know, like, I love you. So what did I get this morning? Absolutely nothing. Not a text message, not a kiss, not a phone call, not a notification, not a pat on the shoulder. Who hurt you? What did I do to you? Are we fighting? Are you mad at me? Do you not love me anymore? Are we not married? Are we divorced?
Where's Talk to a Girl when you need her?
What are your guys' thoughts? Is this a young person thing? A young person thing? Is this something that they lack the maturity to understand that men go through issues as well? The men have different, I don't want to say different times of the month, but they go through things, right? They have different things in their mind, right? So what's up with that? Is this a young person thing? I have heard some of this. Alicia says, I've heard some of this, but don't know anyone personally. Although I do believe some of the things broken women whom have not healed and younger community are looking for things that they don't have. That's an excellent point concerning healing. I listed it last week, or last week, concerning some of the things that some of the things that we should go through or experience or give ourselves time to heal, I should say. We should give ourselves time to heal after a relationship. And that goes to what which Miss Alicia is saying, is that some broken women just haven't healed, right? We've gone through circumstances, you've gone through problems, issues, whatever. And next thing you know, right, you take your trauma and you want to place it into someone else. I talked about bleeding on other people, right? Bleeding on other people, right? So you got to take the time to heal from this type of thing. Otherwise, when somebody doesn't give you a peck in the head, or you do miss a good morning text, or whatever it is you've grown accustomed to, your mind starts to race and you really start to think some crazy things. So, but my question again is this type of behavior running off all these different potentially good men? And they're all saying, just forget it, just forget it, just forget it. My theory is most don't want a purposeful relationship. They want help. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point about not wanting a purposeful relationship, but they want help. They want whether help financially and probably help emotionally, right? Somebody take this trauma. Somebody listen to my trauma as I dump my issues off into someone, right? I don't want to pay for therapy. I don't want to go to a life coach. Well, life coach isn't really for that, but I don't want to go to therapy. You know, my friends are tired of hearing about it. Let me get a boyfriend, or let me get somebody, a friend zone guy or whatever, and just dump all my trauma on them. Miss Shirley, you are in the dating cesspool. Let me tell you, it is definitely a different experience. After 18 years out of it, being back in it, I had to get out. And one of the reasons I got out, because there's this lady, Kendra G. Kendra G said, the dating pool is a mess. Or she said there's pee in the dating pool because you're in it. When she said that, I got out of the dating pool. Because I'm like, you know what? She's right. Because I can't be a part of the problem. I got to be a part of the solution. I cannot be part of the problem. I had to be part of the solution. I have to think clearer. I have to go through whatever I got to go through. Meet people the natural way, right? Get off the dating apps, all this type of stuff. You got to get through all that type of thing, right? So again, what do you all think is running these men off and causing them not to want to date? What do you all think is causing men in particular to not to date, to go MGTOW or monk, to get on airplanes and go to other places? And is this an irreversible trend? Is this an irreversible trend? Let's see. Okay, here we're going to hear from a guy right now. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions, and this is going to be coming from a guy. This is like a 2-minute long video. Oh, sorry about that. I thought I was playing a video here. Let's see. I got to rewind it. My apologies.
Here's a lovely little PSA that nobody asked for.
Oh boy, buckle up, kids. This one's about to get real.
You wonder why the divorce rate's so high? You wonder why there's so many women in their 20s, 30s, 40s that are not in relationships or not getting married just because they plain don't want to? Or why there's so many single moms in the world right now? It's very easy, very simple. Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Oh, I see. Funny thing is, neither are men. And that's why we're walking away in droves. So what's any different between men and women in this?
Let me say that again. Women are not accepting the bare minimum anymore.
We heard you. And guess what? Neither are men.
If you want to be a partner, please be a partner. If you want to be in a relationship, please give benefit.
Okay, we actually agree on this point. You should be getting benefit from your partner. So why don't you tell us a few of the benefits that you're going to provide?
Okay, before we get into that, all right, I'm going to pause it right there. So I want to ask the question, right? And I presented this idea many times in my previous work there. Men in the 1950s had to do everything, and I would say up until all of human history, men have gone out there, hunted, done whatever, right? Brought home the bacon, if you will. Enter 1960s, different amendments, civil rights, Title IX. Women entered the workforce in droves. Education, in particular, black women got education, and black men got incarceration, right? So if men are always expected to provide, is that a lesser expectation of the men? Is it a lesser expectation of the men? They no longer have to provide. They no longer have to protect. And if so, according to this gentleman and to this lady here, what is it that we are going to get? Again, I'm asking a question. Why are men exiting the dating pool? What is it that the men are going to get in return for being in a relationship? This is a question. I think this is a vital question that we have to answer in the modern era. Okay, my protection, my provision is not necessarily as desired. We have the police, we have the military, right? Women have guns. I shouldn't say that. Women have the pews, whatever, right? They have these other things. So what is it I'm supposed to offer? And this is a dilemma. What is it that you expect a man to offer you? And Okay, so that's what you are going to get. But what does the man get? What does the man get for offering whatever services he provides to you? Because before he would get a nurturing, kinder, gentler, in comparison, I should say, feminine, nurturing, homemaking type of woman who would rear his kids while he was out hunting, doing whatever. So what does he get? And this is why men are deciding to go other places or say forget it altogether. So, ladies in the chat, or you can come up here and tell me, what is it that the man is going to get? You got to be let's be very, very mindful of that. So let's hear what this young lady has to say as you guys ponder that, and then I'll get to the chats.
Someone, I can pay my own bills, I can make my own food, I can raise my own kids.
Okay. Guess what? We can do all those things too.
I understand that you're tired at the end of the workday, but so am I. But guess what? Someone has to do the laundry. Someone has to make dinner. Someone has to watch the kids.
And someone has to mow the lawn. Someone has to fix the car. Someone has to, I could list a whole bunch of things that men do that really women don't count as doing chores because it's not something they value. And the funny thing is, even when we do all those things, you discount it because, well, it's not done the way you would do it.
If you're not going to do that with someone, then just don't do it.
Okay, we hear you. That's why we're walking away.
Because we can do it all ourselves.
And so can we.
And we have a lot less socks to turn right side in the laundry.
Well, you got me there. I stand corrected. You see, I thought the things that women valued were love, respect, taking care of one another. Nope, I was wrong. You've enlightened me. It really comes down to one thing. The only thing that matters to women is whether the socks are turned in the right way. And people wonder why. Gentlemen are just plain done.
All right, so I thought there was a little comedy about the socks. And listen, I hate turning socks inside out, quite honestly. So let's see. I got a few more videos to play for us, but I want to run through some of this. Let's see. I don't think it's an age. It looks like, let me remove that. It looks like maturity and communication is the issue. It looks like maturity and communication is the issue. Thank you so much, Ms. Darla. I've come across a couple of ladies who feel this way, and I can honor their thoughts. However, I think these particular women I spoke with just wanted someone to take care of them. Interesting. Again, I think that goes both ways, right? I take care of you, you take care of me. I take care of you, right? I knock out the bills, if not the majority, certainly the majority, or all the bills, and I want something in return. And this sounds, somebody put this in the chat in a different comment section. Sounds so transactional. Certainly, love should be in that. I definitely agree with that, right? I love you, therefore I'm going to take care of you. I love you, I'm going to pay your bills. I'm going to make sure that you're good. I'm going to make sure that your car oil gets changed or whatever, right? I'm going to make sure we have a good life. And in return, I want something as well. So I think that there has to be a give and take. And to deny that, I think, is just to deny reality to a certain extent. The expectations from these women are extremely high. These women can't even meet their own expectations. That has been a great point, and a lot of ladies are, this is the whole dating thing with the food item, and it really bothers me when I hear a lady say, "I'm not going to a chain restaurant. I'm not doing this, that, and the other." Well, do you go to chain restaurants in your own daily personal life? Are you able to afford getting your nails done every week or whatever it is, or different hair things, right? So again, to Miss My Girl Les and Miss Y Square here, this is just people who want to just be taken care of. Just people who want to be taken care of, right? Women are not saving themselves for marriage and giving the benefits of a wife before marriage, in which, in return, commitments are not happening. That is an awesome point. Women are not saying, is that an antiquated idea? Is that an old-fashioned idea that we just got to save ourselves for marriage? I mean, what's up with that? Are we just not, where are we going with this, right? So this is the problem I have with the hookup culture, with situationships, with the talking stage. Like, what are we doing? Are we sleeping with each other? Are we not sleeping with each other? If I'm dating you, are you dating other people? Right? You got to, and this is if you want relationships, you're dating with intention. Obviously, you all are here because you have a different idea and want something different. So again, the point that I'm playing these other videos is to show that men are walking away because of the trauma that they've experienced in other women. So women, in my estimation, had to get other women under control, right? You have to tell them it's no good that you would be sleeping around. It's when you enter into situationships and you give yourself to people and you don't demand marriage, it destroys the entire dating pool in the dating market for all women, or for at least the vast majority of them who want marriage, right? Because a guy runs into you, you just take him for his finances, for his time, just want to drive around in his car, you just want to make him pay for your hair and makeup and nails and all this type of stuff, and then you're not serious, you're dating other people, and then when I come across this guy, he's going to not want to do it for me. Things that got to be thought about. Her voice was annoying. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. I thought it was both ways. Yeah, I think that it's got to be both ways. It's got to be a give and take. When you're in alignment with your purpose, partner, and kingdom spouse, you both will build together and exchange value to value. Agreed. The purpose of a life partner is to be a helper of your purpose. I would agree with that. Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Okay, that'll be when I used to coach, it'd be like 50 push-ups. So give me 50 push-ups. Thank you so much for joining, though. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone here. It's 34 people watching. Thank you so much. Make sure you all hit that like button, please. When I love a person, I want to do things for them. Yeah, that's the way it should be. Yeah, whatever. I don't want to go through the love language thing, but I think you ought to do things for your partner, for your spouse. I really think you ought to want to do it. When I have a man, this is deserving. I love him, support him, nurture him, and I am protective too. It sounds like you're trying to low key be like you're the jealous type. You're the jealous type, Miss Linda. You're the jealous type. When a man is deserving, let me talk about that for a minute here. I don't understand. Please, ladies, don't deal with a man. Here's a big thing I really want you all to really understand. Do not do things for a man who's not deserving. If you don't get anything else from my channel, from all the next videos that I've ever produced, I don't think that women ought to do things for men who are not deserving. I talked about before messing up the dating pool. That messes up the dating pool. When you do things for men who are not deserving, you give him your time, your attention, your body, your efforts, the best of you, your years, right? Your years of youth. Give him a child or two, and he's not deserving. He was always a bum. He was always no good. He was always stealing your money, never working a consistent job, and you give this man children and your life and your youth, and man, don't do that. I can't express that enough. You really have to give your best years to the best person, and if that man is not deserving of it, please don't do that. Why would anyone want a partner that only wants to provide the bare minimum? Yeah. So you got to really kind of set your expectations up, set your expectations high. And if your bare minimum is, I don't know. I guess it depends on the bare minimum too. I had this disagreement one time when we were in a supervisor class for the PD. Somebody asked me, was I a cop? Yeah, I am. Not here, but in the comment section. I've expressed that many times. I'm a retired police officer. So we were having a supervisor training, and we talked about the bare minimum, right? What do you do with the problem, not a problem employee? What do you do with an employee who's only doing the bare minimum, right? And I guess it depends on what your bare minimum is. If your bare minimum is, I only want to go out once a week for date night, okay, he's doing that. Do you really complain about that? And now it would be nice if he took you out again, if in addition to, okay, maybe you go out once a week, maybe the next bare minimum, even though you didn't express it, maybe the next thing is, okay, he gets my nails done. Okay, he gets my hair done. He has a rose in my car every morning before I go to work, something like that. I mean, that would be great, right? So let's see here. Darla, you guys are going a little fast for me here. Salute, brother, new to the channel. Appreciate the content. No, thank you so much. Appreciate it. It makes it difficult for all women. Yeah, it makes it difficult. makes it difficult. Let me try to catch up here with these chats. Standards and morals have been not only lessened but forgotten. Oh man, that is a word right there, Miss Chocolate. That is a word right there. Standards and morals. What do you all think? Just talking about standards, talking about morals. We have a person of color. I'm going to put it that way, Miss Kamala Harris, who's running for presidency, and I don't have any issue with that. But I do have an issue with her announcement, if you will. Whatever happened in Atlanta with Meg Thee Stallion. What are your all thoughts about that? Put that in there. I mean, is this? And again, this is what men are looking at, right? This is woman's running for president. You have Meg Thee Stallion up here, and do you want? I'm going to tell you right now, the vast majority of men who are on their game, on their grind, on their purpose, don't want a Meg Thee Stallion for a wife. Maybe inside the bedroom, you can be Meg Thee Stallion, you can be Cardi B, you can be anybody inside the bedroom, but we don't want our ladies like that in public. Now, for me, I have friends that don't believe in love anymore, so they hook up with people just to be taken care of sexually. Wow, they laugh at me because I won't do it. Man, I really wish you would explain that. Why are they laughing at you? That is, to me, is just bizarre to give your body to someone. It's bizarre to me to give your body to someone who's just going to hook you up just for a little bit, right? And again, that is a result of the sexual market that we are in. It is a result of, I'm going to say it, feminism. It's a result of that, the sexual liberation. It's nothing more, right? And what do you really need a man for? It's great that you don't need him, but do you want him? And if he's what value? And this is the question that men are asking: what value do I have? And if the only value that I have is to please you sexually, then okay, we don't need. You can just do that with anyone, right? I'm not meeting any type of emotional needs. I'm not meeting anything else. I think that's terrible. I think that's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Please make sure that you hit that like button. I can't see where we're at with the likes, but please make sure you hit that like button. People refuse to be honest. They come in relationship with lies. Yeah, that is a problem. Do not. I cannot stand a liar. I mean, I don't talk to. Once you lie to me once, we're pretty much done. Like I just can't. I can't deal with liars. I can't deal with liars. Lisa Boone, no man could deal with her for too long. I'm assuming that was the lady in there. They don't want responsibility. Yeah. Is that the men? I'm assuming you're talking about the women, men or women. Who, Miss Cooper, who doesn't want the responsibility? No, I don't know if I believe that, Miss West. I think you are the jealous type, but we'll see. Big L, I got your push-ups, no problem. Okay. Protection is being aware of the environment, making sure he is gone. Making sure he is gone in circumstances. Okay. Yeah, I think that women often offer a level of protection for men too. I really think that women offer a level of protection too. I definitely think that there's such a thing as women intuition, and sometimes women can see things that men just can't see, or be able to read the room a lot better, be more intuitive to the room. Yeah, I definitely think that. I definitely believe that. Why men leave the dating pool is, as you put it, varies. It's not always about women. Is it not always about women? I guess that's true, right? They might be going through a financial circumstance. They might need to do some mental healing. They might, whatever. They might have some things going on. Maybe they got family issues they got to take care of, medical issues they got to take care of. Yeah, there's definitely other reasons that men would leave the dating pool. Definitely. K Cooper, this is so true. Be honest with me. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, that lying thing, man. I think it comes back to the absence of fathers in the home, standards and expectations. Listen, this is an epidemic that we must solve in the Black community. This is a problem that we must solve in the Black community, and that's really kind of what I wanted to talk more to the men about. But this fatherhood thing that we got going on in the Black community is a problem. Now, there has been research, I think it was published 2017 or 2018 now or something like that, talking about black men in particular are the most involved fathers. But let me tell you something. And I told the story before. You guys might have heard it already, but I'll say it again. Like, I was a product of a single mother home, and even though we lived in a 3-family, if you live in the Northeast, you know, 3-story house, and we lived on the 3rd floor. My mother, my brother, and myself, and on the 2nd floor was my grandfather, and on the 1st floor was my great aunt and her son. So I had some males there, and in other towns were a couple of uncles, and of course I had a church that was full of good, strong deacons and good, strong men who worked and lived out of town. Right, I lived in inner city, but they lived in suburbs as black men in the 70s and 80s, and I still noticed a great difference when the father is not in the home. And you know, I struggle with a lot of insecurities growing up, and I know that if I would have had a father who was actually in the home, stronger male presence. I mean, my grandfather was on the 2nd floor, but he was older. He was in his 80s. So I mean, I'm talking about when I was growing up. So this is an issue, and it's something we really got to solve. It's really something we got to solve. But and also I think that the women have to help solve that problem. You have to help solve that problem. Number one, obviously, you know who you're going to select with, but you have to train your boys, your little nephews, your little cousins, your little nieces. Yeah, you have to train them to say, listen, you got to be in the home, be involved, right? I think we got to stop celebrating divorce. You know, try to push for more strong relationships. And we got to stop celebrating this type of stuff, right? It's got to become a taboo. We got to bring shame back. We have to bring shame back. And until shame comes back, shame is the number one predictor. Well, not number one predictor, but number one factor in really changing people's behavior. It's definitely true in the criminal justice system, which I teach. You got to bring shame back. That's when people really start to change their ways, when you shame them. And when we shame them, and then the second thing is we got to work on our economics. We got to build a more viable economic system, right? So if I own a hair salon, just for example, or you own a hair salon, and you don't want you don't want to sell your products or give your product to people who are single mothers, or people who come into your shop and they you know, all the gossip that goes on, barbershops, hair salons, whatever, right? And they know that this is an environment that is not conducive to this type of behavior, then that's shame as well as the economics, and say, listen, if I want to go to this shop and I want to get my hair done well, and I want to be intertwined in this community, then I really got to get myself together. That is what builds strong community. Look at any other community, right? It's about how the sisters interact with each other, the mothers, and I'm talking about the mothers, the aunts, how they all deal with any wayward woman, and how the men deal with wayward men, right? This is what we have to bring back. And this is what is sorely lacking in the Black community. This is what is sorely lacking in the Black community, is that we don't have a sense of community and a sense of shame. And those two things go hand in hand. And if you can't walk through your streets and go to the store within your community, and you can't go to the barbershop or to the hair salon or to get your nails done within in your community, and know that there is a hint of people looking at you, looking down their noses upon you, then there's no incentive to do any better. And this is something that is sorely lacking within our community. Right, Miss Chocolate? Yeah. So are you doing the push-ups too, Miss Kay Cooper? Because they have reached the maturity to withhold, because they have not reached the maturity to withhold from sex. That is important too. That's another part of the shame element. It tells you what Kamala thinks of Black women. We are portrayed as promiscuous and not critical thinkers. That's an excellent point. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Linda. Yes, it is a problem. I remember years ago, I think it was last election, right? What they thought about Black men, right? Get your booty to the polls or something like that. No vote, no vucking or something like that. Remember those, right? They just think that we're a bunch of hedonistic animals, right? This is a problem. But we had to change our own ethnic image. A couple more of these, and I'm going to get back to the videos. I found a lot of guys want to be taken care of. I do believe that the dating pool is oversaturated. We have bums thinking they're the cream of the crop because some women are competing over them. You tell me why, Miss Lyric, that these ladies are competing over bums. I used to joke with my ex all the time. I used to joke with her all the time. I'm like, listen, I'm going to stop working. I'm like, I was going to stop working. I'm like, I'm going to quit my police job. What am I working for? You take care of me, right? Everybody else is doing it. She didn't think it was funny, but I thought it was funny. Oh, man. I want and need a man. Very good. Very good. Making sure he's in a good environment and circumstances. Yeah, that's true. But see, that's the dilemma these days. A lot of women think that is what men want. We have lost the art of communication, honesty, and putting in the least effort to cultivate a relationship. Yeah. There is certainly a lot of this going on here as far as there's a misperception, miscommunication, and all that. All right, let me pause right there, and I'm going to get to another video. Okay, so we might have seen this. This is a video. If you have not heard about the Turkish German lady, we're going to play a little bit of her video. It's like 13 minutes long, but we're not going to play the whole thing. But I want to get your thoughts and opinions about this Miss Turkish lady who has made a viral video talking about, or she made a video that went viral, talking about the difference in particular about American women and what's running them off. So let's play a little bit of this.
Black American women are no competition, and that's how I got my man. That is what a lot of people think I said in one of my YouTube videos, which is going viral on all social media platforms at this moment. I mean, TikTok, X, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform you're looking for, you will see my face with that caption on that video. And you cannot imagine the shitstorm from certain women is like a really bad case of diarrhea right now. But luckily, at the same time, there are a lot of people who agree with my overall message, which is always any average man deserves a fit, cooperative, feminine wife, especially in today's modern society. But without any further ado, let's dive into the clip that got a lot of women upset and a lot of content creators paid. Let's dive into it.
Hey, if you just shut up. That no black woman's not competition for us. A German white woman, very beautiful, gorgeous. Oh, she trashing black women? I don't want to say she's trashing them, but she's putting them in their place. I'm just joking. She ain't say nothing bad about the black woman, did she? Nah. Well, be the judge. Let's look at the video.
I already knew I had him because there was simply no competition out there for me. But let's just look at it objectively. You had this average Black American guy who now was able to choose between what he was dealing with before and somebody completely new. And let me tell you, the moment I stepped into that man's life, he really didn't know how to deal with my femininity because I was not loud. I was not screaming. I was not trying to, be louder than him. I didn't interrupt him because that's not something that I learned from home. If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say, right? So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come out of nowhere and just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this. So my husband, back then boyfriend, really thought this was a dream come true. He didn't know how to deal with none of this because all this me coming through, just being nurturing by nature, his peoples and his family didn't even do that for him. Like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially Black American family, has barely a family unit. There is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to with my family. Can you imagine that impact that I had on him back then? So, gentlemen, do not be afraid of traveling. There are so many more women out there who are willing to take care of you. It doesn't matter if they're young, it doesn't matter if they're older. They are willing to take care of you, willing to work with you, willing to be a part of your life. You don't have to deal with whatever you are dealing with back in your hometown, because unfortunately, a lot of American women are lost in the delusional world that they are living in, and they don't even understand that they are going to be lonely for a long time, if not for the rest of their life. They say by choice, but I don't believe them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a snippet out of a whole YouTube video.
Okay, yeah. So as you said, that's a whole snippet out of that. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions, right? I'll jump straight down to those about what she said. Is there any truth to it? Now, a lot of people had a problem with her, quote unquote, putting her mouth into onto Black folks' business and into our sphere. But does she have a point? And is this an issue? Is this? I think we got to have a. I think you got to have a great conversation, an honest look at your what's going on in our communities. And I did another post on my other channel, which I'm probably going to stop anyway. But anyway, so I asked the question, who has the ability to critique Black women or Black community or the Black community? And so does this woman have the ability to do it? I mean, she has the ability, but does she have the right to do it? Is it taboo for her to do it, right? She's now married to a Black man. They've been married for, I think, 15 years now. And she says when he met him, he didn't know anything about that, about his femininity. And when he got into the relationship, the next thing you know, his mind was blown. So if we're asking a question as to why these men are going their own way, going a different way, withdrawing from the dating pool and or going overseas, is this the type of treatment that men on a daily basis in this country, United States, should be receiving? Or is she going too much of being a pick-me? Is she doing too much? Is she messing up the game for the ladies? Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Good evening, Miss Shirley. Thank you so much for coming on. Let's see. I agree with this point that a lot of African-American women have lost their femininity and family units have declined. Now, I don't agree with taking care. We can care for each other. We got to take care of each other. Yeah, I take care of you, you take care of me, right? I don't see a problem with that. Yes, they are not pushovers, but I think you can still be feminine as well. Yes, welcome, Shirley. Let's see. She implied that Black women aren't clean, can't cook, or care for man. Only white women can do those things. I guess one could get that. I guess one could get that implication. It certainly does seem that she was implying that. Yeah, I think that implication is there. I will agree with that. And this is why people were so upset by this particular clip. I know in my home, when my family was my kids were small and stuff, I made sure, when we weren't doing basketball or I wasn't coaching or whatever, those nights we had, we made sure we sat down and ate together. So breakfast was difficult because I went out to work early, but we tried to get it done. That was important to me. Let's see. I was stationed in Germany. German women are no pushovers. So yeah, so this, I think somebody was responding to this. Thank you so much, Miss Glorious Love, for this comment. Stationed in Germany. German women are no pushovers. You can be feminine and not be a pushover. You can be feminine and not be a pushover, right? Yeah, they're feminine but not pushovers. A lot of what she said made sense. Is this done? And how do we get this done? I'm assuming you all want to attract a good man, right? And she said, and here's the idea of a high value man or an average man. She said this guy was an average dude, right? Whatever his average, I don't know what she means by average, but let's just say his height, his income, it was all average, right? Average. Does that type of man still deserve someone who's fit, feminine, and friendly? I'm going to go back to A red pill space mentor, Mansford, great Kevin Samuels used to say this. He said, pull out your family albums of your family members in the 1940s, 1930s, 1950s, right? You can even Google these images, 1950s black women. Vast majority of them had natural hair. The vast majority of them had were very much in shape, very much feminine, weren't walking around with pink hair and all this different stuff, right? Very moderately and conservatively dressed. How did we get away from that? Contrast that to today. And in order to have a woman like that, all the guy had to be was have, or all he had to do was have a job. Right? He had a job, and yes, I agree that the standards should be raised. It should be more than just having a job. You should be able to know how to talk and communicate and be able to, have decent conversations and all that. I'd certainly agree with that. But these high list of expectations to get what I would deem as a lesser woman, right? If the women back in the 1950s knew how to cook, clean, sew, whatever they knew how to do, right? Because again, the standards have not changed for men. You still are expected to protect and provide. 1950s woman could do all these types of things. And so now she's coming along. This guy had never seen that. This German Turkish woman had never seen. She comes along to this guy who had never seen these types of things. Probably not in his aunts, his mother, his grandmother. So she comes along and blows his mind. So is that something that ladies need to have amongst themselves, to have this conversation, to say, listen, we need to bring back some femininity classes. We need to bring back some how to treat your man classes, right? Some dating coach classes for women that include more than just what it takes to get a man, right? What does it take to keep a man? That's really the question. We can get men all day, right? We guys already put it in the chat. You can get a man all day. It's not sleeping with the men that's the issue. It's getting them from long-term commitments. That's the problem. That's really the problem. So how do we solve that problem? Yeah. I was very disappointed by Kamala. Very disappointed by Miss Kamala. Why does the black women feel no one can say anything about them? We all see their attitudes and behaviors. That's a good question. And when I did that post on the other channel, a lot of people chimed in and said we all can see it. We all should be able to comment, and I actually agree with that. They all should be able to comment. Our tax dollars are paying for a lot of this. The kids that grow up in this community, that go to school, right? Everybody should be able to comment. So this is an issue, and so it's an honest question that we need to have an answer to. And so, who can comment, and what's going on, and how do we fix it? And most importantly, she was on point. She was on point. There are still black women out here who have all those qualities, who was raised with all those values. However, due to some men who chose to use and abuse them, they've been removed themselves due to that. So they are out the dating system. They are out the dating pool. So how do we find them, Miss Y Square? And I'm asking that legitimately, seriously. How do we find them? How does a good man find these good women? Where are they? Right? They're certainly not on dating apps. Are they in libraries? Are they in parks? Are they in grocery stores? How does a good man find them? How does a good man find them? And how does a good woman like that outshine the negative attitudes and negative instances and negative women who seem to be glorified, aka Meg Thee Stallion, aka Cardi B? How do you outshine these types of people? How do you outshine these types of people? I believe anyone can have their say, but just be ready for the expect the blowback, because it's going to come. Oh yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. You are right about that. I'm sorry, but is it a black community problem, or is it just her husband was raised, or the lack thereof? Well, I think I'll play a little bit more of this. That's a good question, but I think that she's going to talk about, either she talked about in that video or in this video I'm about to play, right? Because that was a clip of another video. I think that she is going to elaborate on her experiences, and that she actually traveled to America. So we'll continue on with that, and we'll play that
video where I was talking about how my basic daily activities have impressed and impacted my husband's daily routine. I mean, it is just what it is. And you know what? A lot of women out there should apply that knowledge that I'm trying to give to you for free. Tell me, where did you hear me say that that Black American women are no competition. I was not even talking about Black American women in particular. I never said anything like that I am better than them. I never said anything like I have better qualities than a Black American woman. No, I'm always talking about modern Western women in general. And by the way, a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who was listening with their ears instead of using their emotions, because when you compare the caption of the video that I didn't even put on the video to the words that were coming out of my mouth, the caption had nothing to do with the words that I was saying. I mean, honestly, I was talking about the American family structure, if you were able to get the message that I was trying to bring to you. Yes, I did say the average Black American family barely has a family unit. Not even in that statement, I generalized all Black families in America that they don't have a family unit. I lived in America for 2 years and I've seen a lot of messed up things in Black households, white households, and I very soon came to the conclusion, coming from a traditional household, that there is something seriously wrong that's going on in those households in America. And I was flabbergasted at the amount of disrespect an average American man would have to deal with coming from the woman of the household. I mean, these women, not only that they were disrespectful, they were lazy too. And I heard them speak a certain way to their children that had me in complete shock. I mean, I remember this one situation where this woman called her teenage son bitch, and I couldn't believe my ears. Even if that was supposed to be a joke in that moment, that word is doing something to that child. How is it going to grow up thinking it's okay that a woman is calling that boy bitch?
I'm going to pause right there. So we'll get back to this in a minute. But let me tell you something. That you know, talk about deal breakers and stuff. Listen, that to me is the worst thing you can do to a child. Calling your child little N-words, little B's. That to me, and I used to, man, I used to want to arrest people when I was working. I used to want to like because you know in our state statutes, right? It was risk of injury. And if you read the risk of injury statute, it talks about not only the physical, right? You put them in a risk to actually be injured, right? No seatbelts or you know, let them play with power tools. I mean, you name it. But it also said the mental stability of the child. So you're destroying the mental stability of this child. I'm sure that's not the verbiage, but it's something about, you know, their psychology, their mental, you know, their mentality, and this is affecting that. This is why, you know, swearing at kids, you know, all this stuff that is just crazy. It's just crazy. And there's a push now to get cell phones out of schools. There's a push now to make sure kids can't access social media till they're 16 because it's destroying their mentality. And I think that swearing at your kids, calling them names, all this type of stuff, and even in a relationship, when I'm in a relationship, listen, you start calling me names, it's over, right? You punk, you this, you. I never dealt with any relationship like that, and I never will. That is it for me. It's over because I am none of those things. I am none of those things, right? So don't swear at me. Don't call me names. I won't call you names. I won't swear at you. I won't hit you. I don't tolerate that type of relationship at all. And you know, it's just unfortunate that this has to be addressed, and this woman caught so much flack for this. But this video that has gone viral, if you look at her channel, Miss Soraya, I don't know if it's on here or not, but Miss Soraya, you look at her channel, all of her videos are like this. Like, what's going on in the West? This video went viral for some reason, maybe because she used the word black women in it somewhere, but all of her videos are like this. They're all like that. So this idea about swearing at your kids is just intolerable to me.
I mean, let's be real. But enough said, let's dive into a few comments of a couple of women under my video who have a lot of love for me. You know what? I love you too. He was homeless, curious to why no Russian man wifed her if she had family values. We stay rent-free in everyone's head. Or why is everyone obsessed with us? Or who wants something from the store? Nobody's obsessed with you, honey, trust me. Those are the ones we don't want, sis. You're good. These women are so delusional. They are absolutely obsessed with themselves. Now, honestly, what justifies these women making comments like this? Am I the problem or are they maybe the problem? I'll tell you what the issue is. They have a huge problem with someone who treats an American Black man very, very well. And that's the problem they have, because they think no man deserves to be treated well if he doesn't pay. Excuse me, that doesn't even make any sense to me. If I can only be nice to you when you pay me, that makes me a whole prostitute. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just call it for what it is. You can get upset if you want to. The truth is always going to be the truth. And on this channel, all you will find is the truth, whether if you like it or not. I mean, isn't it true that the majority of modern women nowadays don't want the average man because they are just not good enough for this boss babe? But at the end of the day, these women forget, which makes them so delusional, these women forget that some of them, a lot of them, are below average. I mean, how can you sit there and put yourself on a pedestal, expect all men to do the same because you're wearing fake hair, because you're wearing fake lashes, because you have lip fillers, cheekbone fillers, forehead lip fillers, you are wearing certain type of clothes that make your body look a certain way. But once all of that comes off, I don't know who we're supposed to put on the pedestal. Surely not your ass. I also know for a fact that 90% of these women who are in that comment section are single. Single by choice, you know, because the average man is not good enough. Oh, but coincidentally, that high value man is not checking for them either. So of course you're going to be single by choice. Who are you even kidding? And you cannot tell me that you're coming home every night and you're happy with no.
All right, I'll stop it right there. I think she got a little bit petty at the end there. But I definitely think she had a point. And you know, we gotta take a look at our community and what we're doing and what we're presenting. So let's get back to the comments. And also, again, I want to pose this question amongst the other questions that I've already posed: is what are you going to do to attract these men? This is your ladies. This is your night to shine. What are you going to do to beat, quote unquote, the competition? Whether it's the sister next door, the sister in the next town, you know, what are you going to do to attract these men? We've heard from a man. We've heard from a couple of ladies. Right, the men are quitting the dating market. We've agreed that the dating pool has got a little bit of urine in it. What are we going to do to get these men back? Or you don't care, or you don't care, right? Let's see. Let's see. My experience in Germany is that German women can be very domineering. There was an edge of that with her as well. She was a little assertive. I definitely give you that. It would be interesting to see the day-to-day. It would be interesting to see her on the day-to-day. Make sure you all hit that like button, please. Absolutely. Y Square. She implied that Black women don't do these things. Why? We no longer value those contributions to the family and to the family. What if you do those things and the person doesn't appreciate it and go somewhere else? I hear that a lot. Thank you so much for that question, Miss Felicia. I hear that a lot, and I can't imagine why they would do that. I'm trying to think of those things as to why a man would leave you. And again, you know, you got to make sure that you're doing them for the right person, and you got to make it. Here's what I would say: make sure that the person that you're doing these things for is the right person. Don't just do them because they're boyfriend activities. Again, let me say that again. Don't just do these things because they are boyfriend activities or expectations, I should say. This is what you're supposed to do as a girlfriend to a boyfriend. That person has to be worthy of it. And again, if you've been seeing someone for 3-4 weeks, whatever, you make that connection that he is X, Y, and Z, then you got to make a connection as to where we're going in this relationship. Listen, I'm dating with intention. I'm dating with a purpose. Whether you want to just be long-term boyfriend and girlfriend, you want marriage, you want whatever, you got to make sure that you're doing those things. And that's the best I can give you as far as an answer. Make sure that the person is worthy. Make sure that you are doing it out of the genuineness of your heart. Make sure that you had a long conversation with this brother about what you want and your intentions, and that's the best answer I can give you. As far as somebody going somewhere else, you know, you got to check their history. You know, have you left? Why did your past relationship break down? Where you know, what are your thoughts about long-term commitment? What are your thoughts about marriage? How many relationships have you been in? What's the relationship like with your mother? What's the relationship like with your kid's mother? You know, you gotta do a deep dive and do a background check and make sure that before you start doing these things, that this person is definitely worthy of that type of that type. And again, if you start catching this person in lies, it's time to really kind of reel it in, because that person, you know, yeah, okay, I did these things, or me and my baby's mother broke up because of X. And you figure out that wasn't true, that person has now become unworthy of that special type of king or queen treatment. And you got to hold to that. You got to hold to these boundaries. And yeah. So honestly, I don't like your speaking on it, but it is truth. Believe it or not, I have this conversation in my circle of Black women often. Miss Darla, tell us about these conversations. I mean, is it that they agree with this sentiment that the women are not fulfilling certain roles and certain desires, or is it that yeah, so or is it that they don't feel like the men deserve this type of thing? And is it somebody sent me a video? I was going to try to get to it tonight, but I'll do a reaction to it another time. It's a great video. Maybe we will do it. Maybe we'll do it tonight. I got to see. But you know, what's the conversation like, and how many conversations are like this are being had within sororities, within, if you're part of a, I don't know, marketing, if you're in a law firm group, or you know, you're in book club, in churches. How many of these conversations are being had about how to treat your man, right? Why are men leaving the dating pool, right? Not overweight, natural hair, nice skin. Let's see, down too far here. America is obese. The food is unhealthy. Yeah, listen. So I went to the whole food plant-based diet, right? Eating nothing but fruits and vegetables, and you know, whole grains and all that kind of stuff. And then when I kind of slipped back, eating more chips, even though it was still kind of technically a different way, eating more chips and stuff, right? I started packing on weight. So we have a weight problem in this country, and it's the food, it's the food, it's the food, it's the food. So you can work out a lot and it's still the food. So I've since gone back on my strict diet, because it's just crazy. Absolutely, everyone deserves love, respect, average, blue collar, white collar, high collar, it doesn't matter. Totally agree. Totally agree. I was just watching a video from the late 80s and early 90s, and I saw all the young women in there with natural hair and almost forgot what it looked like. Isn't it crazy when you look back? Isn't it crazy? Oh, I watched the Jeffersons, an episode of the Jeffersons a couple weeks back. And I remember George was making fun of, if you watch the Jeffersons, right? If George was making fun of his neighbor, the upstairs neighbor, Willis, Tom Willis, I think that was his name. And he's poking him in the stomach and calling him pudgy and chubby and stuff. That was the 1970s, you know, early 80s, right? It was just how far we have come. How far, men and women. So, and I always get on, you know, I always get on the men, right? Because they talk about the women, they gotta be fit, feminine, and friendly. That's always the mantra: fit, feminine, and friendly. But men got to get in the gym too. You got to take an actual honest assessment about that. And one guy commented on one of my videos. He said, if I didn't spend half my time talking about men's weight, and I had to watch the video again, I'm like, how much weight was I really talking about? Half the video? I mentioned it for like 1 minute, 1 minute out of a 20-minute video. This guy's talking, right? So I mean, that's an example of hit dogs hollering, right? So half my video talking about weight. Okay, listen, men got to get in the gym too. We got to get in the gym. Felicia, then he isn't the right man for you. Exactly. Not everyone, Black women, is the same, nor every Black man is the same. Can we stop over general? I don't think it's generalizations. I don't think, and even if it is, I think that sometimes generalizations have a level of truth to it, or at least to what's being portrayed in the media, what is being put on blast, what we see. What do you see when you go into the grocery store? What do you see when you go into the grocery store? When you go into your job? When you watch TV? Right? These things mean something. The power of media, power of social media is incredibly powerful. And to pretend like this isn't a problem, I think is even more problematic. Of course, we know that every single Black woman isn't like this. But the question is, how do you outshine those women? I asked that question before, I ask it again. How do you outshine those women? How do you outshine and make them the minority? Make them the minority. How do you do that? Right? This is a question that both men and women have to answer. I talk about the N-word all the time, right? Stop using the N-word. But then every time I go to a comedy club, right, the guys are using it. Every time I watch a new music video or music, even the music I like, early 90s hip hop, it's what they're playing. It's what they're saying. We're outgunned and outnumbered. How do we change that? How do we change that? It's a valid question. The thing is that the baby boomer women taught their girls to go out and be independent. Then welfare came into play. Women stopped valuing their men. How can we bring that back, Ms. Linda? Can we bring that back? That is an excellent point. Can we bring it back? And this is the need. This is the need versus want debate that I had. This is the need versus want. You don't need a man, but you want one. But what does it take to want one? And the men need to be needed. A man needs to be needed. I got to be doing something. I got to be, it's crazy to grow up, right? Because I remember just being like, man, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit around the house playing video games all day. Now I cannot, I can't sit still for 5 minutes, right? I gotta make a video. I gotta read something. I gotta post on I gotta post somewhere. I gotta go out. I gotta get a run in. I gotta do something. I gotta do something, right? Because as soon as I sit down and start watching TV, I'm out. Like these people watch TVs, watch all these different shows and all that. Once I sit down on my couch, I am out. So I always have to be moving and doing something, right? So how do we bring that back, this value to men? There was a video, I should have clipped it. I really should have clipped it. This woman was saying that you need to kind of, I want to put this nicely, kind of be a damsel in distress, if you will. It was on Instagram. She was saying you gotta be a damsel in distress. You got to go to your man and say, baby, can you open up this jar? Baby, can you fix my computer? Can you, right? Even though you're strong, independent, that man needs to be needed. Can you kill this spider? Can you reach up there? Can you get this for me? Can you? She was saying this. This is the way you gotta be around your man, and it sounds crazy. It sounds like she's being a pick me. It sounds like she's doing, but that is a man who's feeling now his ego. Oh man, my baby girl needs me. Let me go ahead and do this. Let me change her oil. Let me pump the gas. That man needs to be needed. And when you take that away from a man, then what does he have? What does he have? Just what you said, Big L. We as women have to put in this moment into motion. Yeah, you got it's the ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. The woman in the previous video with the woman back and forth between the guys, she was saying we can do it ourselves, and the guy was saying we can do it ourselves. So is that where we're at? We're just going to do it ourselves, or are we actually going to have a conversation? And you got to put these things into motion. And I think that the men, particularly men who are consuming this type of content, are saying to ourselves, listen, we need to level up. We need to level up. We need to make sure our financial affairs are in order, make sure we have gone to therapy, and to make sure our emotional and mental affairs are in order, and in order to meet the new demands of the new woman. But but it's up to the ladies, and you can't. To her, this woman's on the screen here, her point is that the women in her comment section, right? If you go, I don't know where the comment section is. Here it is. Women in her comment section, if you can see that, the women in her comment section are resisting the advice and the change that she wants to bring. But the truth of the matter is, if the American woman acted like this Turkish German woman, I think she's from Turkey but living in Germany, I think that's where there would be no competition. You're already here, so you got the proximity thing, right? Most black men want black women, period. It's the attitude that they don't want to deal with. It's the fakeness that they don't want to deal with. That's what it is. I'm just going to call it like I see it. It's the attitude and the fakeness. That's what they don't want. They don't want fake hair, fake lips, fake nails. They want a nice, sweet, soft, submissive, beautiful woman who's fit, feminine, and friendly. That's what they want. This wouldn't even be a discussion. We could drop all this whole market overnight. Overnight. This led to the strong, independent woman. Don't tell me anything. Poor attitudes because they don't feel like poor attitudes because they don't feel they need to be humble in order to survive. Yeah, this is a problem. It's a problem for the dating and mating market. It's keeping everyone single. The strong independent market, the strong independent woman has created their own situation where they felt independent, which in response created the manosphere and the red pill space when they said, forget these women, F these hoes. So it causes to diverge and go to separate ways. Well, I guarantee you overnight, if the women said to themselves, hey, listen, I'm going to change, we're going to be nice, we're going to be sweet, generally over the broad or overnight, in the vast majority of them, the passport bros would be getting on the planes coming back. They would be coming back. What, the women are beautiful. They can still be independent, still have a streak of getting of being on their game, on their grind, and on their purpose. But at the same time, they're sweet, soft, feminine, and they need me. That would be no competition. I really don't think these Gen X or older women we're talking about. All the women are in church, right? I haven't been to church in a while, but I'm hearing the same thing is going on in these churches. So I couldn't tell you that. They're probably not Gen X women, but I can tell you I've run into some Gen X women like that, particularly being back in the dating market. So it's some of them as well. And some of these Gen X women are like that, right? They were the first generation to go latchkey kids, and their parents weren't working and all this kind of stuff, right? They were raised by the baby boomers. Yeah, that's them. That's them. I really miss the days when men would actually speak and smile versus going home to get online and look at pictures. What caused that, right? We're taking a look at what drove them off and what can bring them back. What caused that? It caused that is, and this happened to me, right? Holding the door. I've been in multiple states. Held the door for multiple women, and multiple women have told me I don't need a man to do that. Multiple states, multiple different women at different times told me they don't need that. There's videos out there of don't talk to me in stores, don't talk to me in parking lots, don't talk to me at the gym. All that has been driving this. So we want to smile and speak, but we don't want to be accused of being stalkers and Me Too'd and all that. So there are many hidden black women, but the media will not portray a correct image of the black women that won't give views of ratchetness does. I think there's a certain level of truth to that, but also I think that we have to take a look at even our own media. Tyler Perry, anyone? I mean, this media is a problem. So yeah, the strong family. I don't know the last good strong black family show after Meet My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans. I can't really think of one. Maybe you all can think of one. I think there was one I think maybe Cedric the Entertainer had one, but I don't think there was any kids in that show, if I remember. And I didn't really watch it because I didn't think it was that funny. And I think Cedric's very funny, but I didn't think the show was funny. There may have been kids in it, I don't remember. But anyway. I have no problem tapping into my softer side for a real man. There are too many man-childs out there. Yeah, man-childs are a problem. They're a problem. They are a problem. Yes, that's a large part of the problem. And let me thank you so much for the comment, Ms. Jen. Sweet low. Yes. Glorious Love says some of those black women are following the divestment movement. Oh, what are you guys' thoughts about that? They don't care, right? They're leveling up. They're following the divestment movement of going after the other man, right? The men are going to divest, then the women are going to divest. Did you see? I didn't clip this video. I should have. If I would have known this comment was coming, I should have done it. But did you see the video? I guess of the young woman who was black, who had 2 kids, and she married a white guy, and they moved to Hawaii, and now she's putting him on blast, saying he wasn't a provider and all this kind of stuff, right? So that divestment movement may not be all it's cracked up to be. And I'm sure it's not for black men going overseas, right? You got to learn a different culture, bringing them back here, all these different, you don't know what you're going to get. So we are at the grocery store in Home Depot. Let's see. American culture as a whole, not just black women. Yeah, American, particularly for the family life. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. I'm tired of the devising this for clickbait. Every ratchet content creator is making money off this. We have to understand the black folks are trending on social media right now due to the election. Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's definitely a lot of that. I had a friend as a teenager. She had a son, and she would curse at him, call him MF. I told her not to talk to him like that. Well, what was the response? What was the response? I'm interested in response because this is a problem that has been going on for years. We got to stop this. We got to stop this. And shout out to what's her name, Dr. Joy DeGruy, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Excellent book. If you're not into reading the books, you can type into the YouTube chat or YouTube search Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, Dr. Joy DeGruy, DE capital GRUY, Joy DeGruy. And you can watch her videos about that. She's talking about that. Excellent presentations. So it's a problem. We have a lot of trauma from the Black community, a lot of problems. Why is it because I love the voice? Why is it because I have a voice or an opinion of my own? We are made to feel we are combative and difficult. Every disagreement does not have to become or lead to an argument. A man, I think, number one, doesn't want to be challenged in his own home. He's probably challenged enough at work, or he feels emasculated at work, right? If he's not a boss or a supervisor or something like that, he's got people telling him to do what to do all day. Or if he is a boss or whatever, he's used to telling people what to do. I think that's one reason. I think another reason is it could be how you're voicing that opinion. It could be how you're voicing that opinion. So be very mindful about it. And you got to and do you respect his wishes? I mean, listen, guys are wrong. There's no doubt about it. There's times when they're wrong. I was wrong once in my marriage. I'm joking about that. So listen, there's times when men are wrong. I mean, and he's got to be humble and take that, right? And a good idea is a good idea, and that takes a level of maturity. It takes a level of maturity, right? I think Black women are the worst. I cannot even stand their attitudes. Black women are nasty to anyone who is not their friends. Wow. Wow. So I did a video on my police channel talking about a Black police chief, a Black female police chief who said she didn't want to hire any more Black women and or Hispanic women because she couldn't deal with their attitudes. So you guys are saying it, not me. I don't think, Glorious, we are classifying all German women as such. That's part of the problem. People get caught up in the feelings. We can't just take it and apply it where it belongs, right? Either they've never gotten the attitude from anyone else that I have seen in Black women. We got a lot of trauma we got to deal with. We got a lot of trauma. In America, you always have to follow the money. How is this woman making money off this? She's making money because actually she doesn't have a big following. She's got 12,000 followers. It might grow now because of a video that went viral. And the clicks, 1,000, 2,000 views, something like that. It's not a big channel. It's not a big channel. So she's probably trying to grow it. I don't know how many videos she has, but it's not a big following. She's bigger than mine, obviously, but and I hope that the 90% of you all who are watching hit the sub button, please, and hit that like button. Black men who put women like this on a pedestal, give women like this the fuel to clown the very race women they came from. Sick. Well, I don't think that no one's who's put her on a pedestal. I'm certainly not doing that. But who's put her on a pedestal, right? Maybe the two guys in the video, maybe they did. But you know, I think the comment is about identifying the issues and that other people are seeing the issues. Other people are seeing the creation of the Passport Brothers. Other people are seeing the creation of the divestment movement. Other people are seeing the creation of men opting out. And it's not so much that this woman is, it's not, and I want to be very clear about this. It's not her aesthetics. And this is something I think that people get confused all the time. It's not her aesthetics as far as her hair or her nose or anything like that. It's the attitude. It's the attitude. It's her femininity. That is what is attracting. So I don't want people to think that we look at, I've said this before, I'll say it again, and we're not looking at other races of women and saying because they have their hair and all this that they think they need to look like this. And I feel bad. I truly feel bad. I've done shows about this. I truly feel bad about the women who really don't understand that. When I look at Serena Williams, who I always thought was absolutely gorgeous. When I even look at Beyonce now, she's doing some country music thing. I'm like, what is going on, Beyonce? Right? I look at all these, and men do it too, right? The skin bleaching routines that are going on. I'm like, what are you all doing? I like African features. I like African features. So I don't know. This is the problem we got to deal with. I agree. It's chocolate. I agree that with most have said, I do detect a little bit of an attitude. For me to attract the right man, I stay in my femininity. I don't wear anger on me. I'm confident and I'm happy. I think that is important. That is what's going to bring men back. Be confident, be happy, and stay in your femininity. Be confident, be happy, and stay in your femininity. Black women do wear a lot of fake hair and lashes. Yeah, they do. We all know that. It may be more of the Turkish values that influencing her, but my experience with German women is that they're also very modern and very domineering. I don't know. I was in Germany once, so I can't give you a full. Ooh, you guys are going in. Thank you, Miss Shirley. Black women are overweight. We got to do something about that. We got to do something about our weight problem. German women have attitudes are no joke. They're the ones that go toe to toe with you more like black women than other Europeans. I am feminine. I smile, say thank you when a man does something for me. I give people homemade foods and goods. Men love it. Yes, they do. That'll bring them back, Miss Linda. They love it. I could probably marry with someone if I wanted to. You probably could. I'm telling you probably could. My daughter said, my daughter's in her mid-20s. She said to me, she cooked something and she gave it to some dude, and I think it was somebody she's trying to date or something like that. I can't remember exactly. She's like, who knew guys would like this? What are you talking about? I told you that. Stop listening to bad advice. That's right. You have to explain what you want, need, and expect up front. That way you are caught up in wasting time, effort, and to be intentional in ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. Women have been told since the 60s that men should be glad to have them no matter what. That's crazy. Yeah, that was a big mistake concerning the dating market. It's been phenomenal for women empowerment, but it's been horrible for dating. That whole thing. It's the portions. It's also what you're eating. It's also they're definitely adding additives. I had a book here about the additives that they were putting in the foods to make you hungry, that were defeating your receptors in your brain, that were telling you you're full. They were putting stuff in there that were defeating it. That was a book I read about that one time. So I love looking at old clips. Black women were gorgeous. Yes, they were. That was the case with family, neighbors, church members. Yes, absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. There's definitely truth in the attitude of black women. You guys got to address it. You guys got to address it. They ain't gonna listen to me. We agreed that we as black women need to make adjustments. The boss bee attitude is ruining our relationships and running men away. Well said, Ms. Darla. Well said, Ms. Darla. Absolutely. You guys got to conquer the attitude. So I'm hearing some agreements here. You got to conquer the attitudes and you got to conquer the weight. You got to conquer the fake eyelashes. That'll draw them back. If the answer to my question is, how do you bring these men back? That's the answers right there. The attitude, the femininity, the weight, that's what's going to bring the men back. And learn how to cook. Learn how to cook. God, dog. Yes, men need to be needed. Yes, you learned that. Thank you, Miss Linda. I saw that in the video or something similar. Yeah, it's definitely true. It is. I'm telling you, it's true. A man who feels useless. That's why there's all these insults. They just want to sit around doing nothing all day. A man who feels useless is dangerous to himself, to his family, and if he's single, he's really useless. Don't have a job. He's dangerous. The best way to stop terrorists, the best way to stop gangs, the best way to stop white supremacist groups is give these men jobs. Give them jobs and give them families. Terrorist groups in other countries, when they get married, they got kids. I'm not joining no terrorist group. I got a family to take care of. My kids want to see me. A young man can't make enough money to support a family now. Women have to work as well just to save money for a home and retirement. It's expensive. Yes, that's true, but that doesn't mean your femininity should go away. And that's the problem, right? There's a difference between being an actual boss and a boss bee mentality. That's what you got. That's what you have to figure out and work on. And he's still in the, even though you're working, he still needs to be needed. And okay, you have to make concessions about how you're going to divvy up the work inside the home. As far as, you know, you're working 8 hours a day, I'm working 8 hours a day. We got these kids we got to take care of. We got these chores we got to do. We got to figure out a way when to knock these out. And I definitely disagree with the men who want to just come home and just crack open the beer and just sit just after a long day's work while you do the rest of the stuff. And there's a video that was out there about a woman who comes home and she gets home from her 9 to 5 and just makes her husband dinner. No problem, no issues I have with any of that. But he ought to be cleaning up the dishes. And that, if you ask me, she's working as well. Now, every household's going to have a different arrangement. You got to be able to make it work. Maybe whatever you got to do, right? So when I was married, I definitely cooked. My skills have gotten much better since I've been living alone. But you got to make it work. You got to make it work. And yes, it's expensive now. It is expensive now. I get it. We have to bring that disgust factor to the sexy reds. Yes, the shame factor, the disgust factor. Just having casual sex, sagging pants. Yes, I agree. Not having employment, buying love. We have to stand on business and mean it. Yes, this is where the shame, and we have to disempower it from the financial incentive. No more buying their stuff. No more going to their concerts. No more if they're on a podcast, let's stop listening to them. If they're on the Breakfast Club, stop tuning into them. Yes, you have to. That is the way that we have to bring it back. That is the answer to these problems, and it has to be just. And it has to be more than us, the 40, 50, or 1,000 or so. Whoever's going to watch this, this has got to be a movement, a movement. My girl says a lot of men these days are calling for women to kill the spider, and he's just the one running out the door. Well, yes, there's a lot of there's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of that going on. Mature black men appreciate a friendly woman who's attractive and good health. Men are desperately wanting to say baby and honey to any kind of woman. It's nice. Yeah. The strong independent woman couple with no discretion as far as who they have sex with. The strong independent woman couple with no discretion as far as who they have sex, because they don't have to be, right? Because there's no need for a commitment. I don't need you to support me. I can just have sex with you. I can kick you out, and then I'll see you when I see you again. So what does that do for the dating market if multiple women are living that way? I said it before, I say it again. It's you all have created this situation. The situationships, the side chicks, the side pieces. We don't know what we're doing. The friends with benefits. This is your doing, and you guys have to correct it. I think both male and female at the end of the day just want someone to love and appreciate who they are and can work with partnership for a good life together. I agree. Big L, don't forget African American women aren't the only women that are not taking part in the fake culture, but we have to play our part. I agree. Yeah, there's definitely everyone. Well, I know specifically of white women who put on those different weaves and stuff, hair extensions. But ours is like, if ours is on steroids. I mean, you can't leave the house. I can't leave the house and go to a store, run to Home Depot, go to Chipotle and get something to eat. If I take all those trips and I see a black woman, they're the vast majority of 90% of them are going to be fake. And I always make it a point. I tell every man this. I always say this. I always make it a point to tell every natural woman. I go up to them, and I'm probably the weird old, creepy guy now, but I'm like, listen, I like your hair. I love your hair. It's natural. I love it. I always make sure I do that. Alicia Boone, at Alicia Boone, all you have to do is smile at men and have a friendly disposition. Men will give it back to you. They want a kind woman. Yes, absolutely. Miss the days of catcalls. Okay, as soon as catcalls come back, then somebody's going to be complaining about that. Oh, don't sexualize me. Oh, well, how dare you? Come on now. Let's see. I'm probably missed that. I'm sorry. I know I did ask you a question. I don't remember what it is now. But it didn't call those derogatory names in front of it anymore. I hope you meet a black woman to change your opinion at Linda West. I'm sure that she has. I don't think that the problem. Nobody's saying it all, not all, but it's a sizable majority. There's not that many of us, and it's a sizable majority. And if we're saying this, and she's saying this, and this woman in this video, saying all this. The first thing we got to say is there's an issue. There's an issue. Candace Owens is cute too. Candace Owens is a good looking black woman. Is a good looking woman. Period. Yes, black women have an attitude. Serena Williams is beautiful. Well, she was. she was. Now she's bleaching her skin and all that. I can't get down with that. But Serena was. Yeah, she was. Ask the man what he needs help with. Learn what he likes to eat. Listen to it. Listen and do it. Yeah. Thank you for your comment. I'm tired of dumbing down. If they wanted help me, I would think they would want someone educated. No one is leading me off a cliff. Men, no one ever said that they don't want a dumb woman. Well, I certainly want a smart woman. I want a college educated. That's great. I don't have a problem with that. And if you're a college educated woman, I don't think there's any issue with you requesting that in your man. I want to get through this. Star Jones got her weight under control and remarried. Is she remarried? I didn't know that. The first dude she married was kind of zesty, right? I tried to think of the word. I can't remember these words anymore. Every man tells me that dislike the hair weave lashes. Black women don't work out or cook at home. Black bad attitudes, disrespectful, but wants to be respected. Listen, I don't know a black man who likes it. And I've asked. I work with cops. I know a lot of corrections officers. Been golfing trips. I don't know who likes them. I don't know them. Most Gen Xers can cook. Yeah, we had to, right? We're cooking at 9 years old, right? We weren't raised with microwaves, and our mothers were standing at our stove for hours. No dishwasher, no. The kids wash the dishes. Absolutely, absolutely. It's the lasting for me. It's the distortion that I don't understand. No, I don't understand it either. I don't know. Let's see. Well, they're out of control, Big Al. I appreciate anyone who is courteous, respectful, and kind. If someone opens the door, that is fantastic. I think we have gotten away from the respect for all. There's certainly definitely something going on, right? Black women sending a message to the world that they don't like their natural, beautiful selves and fake hair and lashes. Yes. I think this is all of it, right? Sassy Big Al. Yes, sassy. I couldn't think of it. Zesty, sassy. Yeah. So I think that's all of it. We've been on for an hour and a half. Listen, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I really, really appreciate you guys coming on. I think that we really did. I think you guys gave some really, really good stuff tonight. And thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. Listen, it's femininity. It's not your aesthetics as far as your hair, as far as your noses, as far as the lightness or brightness to your skin, but it is your femininity. It is your inner glow. It is, yes, your eating right is going to help you as far as weight and help your skin and all that. And just being nice and kind and smile and be friendly and watch the attitudes. And that will bring the men back. It will bring the men back. Thank you guys so much. No, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Glorious Love, and to Linda and to Y Square and to Chocolate and to everyone else who chimed in. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys can always hit me. Let me put this in the my email scrolling at the bottom here. Thank you so much. Thank you for the topic and videos. I fully appreciate it. Listen, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I really want to help. Having a voice or an opinion is not an attitude. At Linda, I'm sad to hear that this is an experience. However, I can honestly say that every woman of color is a Karen. Well, certainly not. Yeah. This was a wonderful conversation. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I think that we really settled some things. It's about femininity. It's about your inner beauty. It's about your weight. And listen, I'm telling you, believe me, I'm telling you, if you conquered these things collectively, our ethnic image would change. Our ethnic image would change, and the men would flock back to you left and right. Now you got to hold them accountable. I will say this: you got to hold them accountable, and you got to make sure that they are intentional, and that they are not just using you for sex. You got to make sure of that. right? Because just because they come flocking back, because you're sweet and feminine, don't mean you should be a doormat and be used and abused. I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. Thank you so much. I hope everyone else who watches this subscribes. There's 90%. I was looking at the analytics the other day. 90% of the views are from non-subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button and all that. So listen, I got to try to pop out another video tomorrow morning for Monday. I got a couple of things that I got to review. Somebody sent me a video. I didn't have time to get to it today, but it's something it's mostly addressing the men. So I'm going to drop that. I might record that tomorrow. It's not for the car. Well, maybe it is for the car. I don't know. Yeah, it's for the car. So I will see you guys. 13,000 more immigrants in NYC from Canada today. There is no plan to stop it. There is no plan to stop it. We don't have the skill set. One of the biggest things, we don't have the skill set. In the 1970s, when they took the shops, the mechanic shops, the carpentry, electrician, when they took those shops out of schools, we don't have the skill set. We don't have the skill set. I sent my daughter to a technical school, for technical high school, and not a lot. Most of the people in there were for computer aided drafting and culinary arts. She was first she started in the hair, and then she went to the medical. But the carpentry, electrical stuff, electrician shops and stuff. We don't have the facilities. We don't have the skill set. So they're bringing all these other people in. So, and I'll talk about this in the video that somebody sent me, and I really, really appreciate it. I got to get to it. You know, 4,000. Do I have 4K subscribers? Oh yeah, do I? Oh man, you guys are awesome. I haven't checked. I try not to look very often. Thank you so much. Where are the gentlemen? What do I have to enforce? Why do I have to enforce? Exhausting. Listen, we feed off of each other. When the women lost their femininity, the men lost their masculinity. You got to understand that. When the women lost their femininity, the men lost their masculinity. I was thinking about talking about this, but I'll talk about it right now since you guys are sticking around. If you never read the Mouse Utopia studies, or there's videos about it, but I highly suggest people read it. It's not very long. It's like 9 or 10 pages. There's 2 of them that were done. Well, actually 3, but two that were published. You can get them online. Just put in Mouse Utopia studies, PDFs, short read, take you half an hour to read them, if that. When they gave the mice, they put a mice in pens. When they gave the mice everything that they needed, you guys heard about this? I'm just repeating it, right? And they gave the mice everything they needed, food and water. The cage that they put them in could have supported something like 5,000 mice or 3,000 mice or something like that. It only got up to about I want to say like 500 mice, because the women stopped reproducing, and the men, the boy mice, the men, the male mice became more effeminate. The women mice became masculine. It's an incredible study. It's an incredible study that is not talked about enough. It's talked about in the manosphere spaces because we're seeing it. The male mice became more effeminate. Some of them, not all of them. Some and pansexual, that was the term they used. They start sleep. The sexes, they start sleeping with each other, right? The male mice would get on top of the female mice and on top of the other man mice. This is in the study twice. They did perform it 2 times. It's an incredible study. I highly suggest that people read that. So this is what's going on. So when you take the mask, when the women become more masculine, the men become more feminine. When the women become more masculine, the men become more feminine. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, these liberal cities are trash. Have an amazing night, everyone. YouTube is when are you getting into the wellness convo? I would try. I started off really talking about becoming the best version of yourself. I can certainly talk about wellness and all that. I can certainly talk about it. It is a big topic of mine because of what I went through, and I'll get into more of that later on. Yes, big girl, spot on. We feed off each other. Yes, it is. It sure was a well-known study. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what's incredible is it's well known, but it's not well talked about. Because I have 2 degrees. I have 2 degrees in psychology. I never heard about the study. I never heard about it. I'm like, what is this? What is everybody talking about the study? I come to the church talking about manosphere ideas. I'm like, what is the study? I don't know anybody's thought. So I had to read it myself. So that tells you they don't teach everything in school. It's really kind of steering you to what they want you to know. What is the name of the study? It's you just put in the mouse utopia mouse utopia study. I forget the guy's last name, Hawkins or something like that. And it's free. Maybe I'll try to put it in the community tab. I think I have it on a PDF. And if I can put it in my community tab, I'll do that. But it's Mouse Utopia. Just put that in Mouse Utopia study. You can watch a clip on YouTube. It's like 10 minutes. But if you read it, you'll really see what the researchers were seeing. They got these mice. Listen, I told you about the female rats became more feminine. The male mice went through crazy different iterations. Some of the male mice were obviously very dominant, so they're sleeping with all the female mice. Then there was another set of mice, male mice, who turned what they called pansexual, right? Bisexual, call it what you want. Then there was a third factor of mice who stopped dealing with everyone. So they didn't. All they did was just sleep all day. They would walk to their food pellets, get something to eat, and then walk back. And what's interesting was no other mice would mess with them. Right, the female mice wouldn't come up there and greet them, play with them. They didn't try to sleep with them. Even the ones who were pansexual, they didn't try to sleep with them. And you know what that mouse was? That's the modern day men going their own way. It's the modern day men going their own way. They're just. I'm not involved. All I do is eat, and I just go back to my house. That, telling you, read that study. I don't know why. It's incredible. I'm telling you, read that study. And then there was a fourth category. I'm saying 4. I think it was actually 3. There was another category of male mice who the researcher called the probers, and he actually was the violent type of mouse because he was actually trying to get in there in our word. These are the female mice, and he would kill. I shouldn't say that word either. He would try to, unalive. He would try to unalive the little kids, the little baby mice. So when you unalive little baby mice, that would make the female mice be more ready to go into reproductive stage. So the female mice, in order to stop their brood from being killed, unalived, they had to fight back, and that made them more masculine. Read the study. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. It's an older study, not talked about often. Yeah, but it should be, because I think that we're living that way now. Yeah, dang metro. Yes, absolutely. We're seeing it every day. I'm telling you, this is what you read that study and you look at what's going on in society today. That's why I don't think it's talked about. And it's particularly me. I don't think it's talked about enough. So, metrosexual, let's see, why didn't the schools offer what society needed? So we did this to ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've read some different theories about why they took different stuff out of the schools. I can stop sharing this now. I read some different studies about why different opinions about why it was taken out. But we're facing that now, right? We're facing that now. You got to import all these different. Listen, all this stuff, right, is all, it's nebulous forces out here who are making these decisions. They know the projections, right? They know what society's going to need in 20 years. And so they anticipate that, right? So they know, they look at population growth rates and all this kind of stuff, right? So is that where we are now? Yeah, that's exactly where we are now. That's exactly where we are now. Read the study, and then look around and you'll be like, oh my God, we're a bunch of mice. we are seeing today in humans. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't even know if there's any gentlemen in here, but if you watch this in the future, thank you so much. Please, if you watch this, make sure that you hit the like button. Anything you want to talk about, send me a link, send me some video clips you want me to see, to review about anything, about wellness, mental. I don't want to talk about mental health, but I definitely want to talk about wellness and what we should do for our holistic body, becoming the best versions of ourselves, those type of things, relationship type of stuff, and all that. So, yeah, go big O. We kept you talking. Thank you. Yes, hit the like button so much. Thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow, and next week we'll be back on at 7:30. I got a friend of mine who's a therapist. He's a Christian therapist, so he's going to come on, and we're going to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we're going to talk about something. So make sure you hit me up. Email me if you want a consultation, if you're looking for a life coach, if you're looking for you want me to talk about a certain story. I got like 3 or 4 of them backed up right now. And if you're looking for a police expert to talk about whatever, or to deal with a court case that you have coming up, or you got a friend of a friend who's going through some kind of court situation, you need a police expert, hit me up and all that. So much love and peace, everyone. I'm glad you teach something. Everything starts with self-improvement. I like your channel. Yeah. Self-improvement is definitely where I started at and where I want to keep going. I'm going to shut up now because I can talk all night. Much love and peace, everyone. You guys take care of yourselves. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Take care.